So over the last few months on this channel, we've been blessed with several hundred new subscribers, so thank you to everybody who has hit that subscribe button. But for those of you who might be newer to us, we thought we'd find a way of telling you a little bit about our running journey. So what we did last week, we put out a question on our community page here. I also put it on my Strava for a Q&A session if anybody had anything they'd like to know about our running. So we collected those questions, recorded answers to most of them last week. So here goes. Just a quick note, this video is a little bit longer than most we normally make, so put chapter headings in. So if there's one thing that particularly interests you as a topic you don't think you're that interested in, you can skip through the ones you're not that interested in and skip on to the ones you are interested in. Okay? So welcome to another video, and in this video we're going to be doing something slightly different to normal. So rather than a training run or a race vlog, what we thought we'd do is a Q&A session. So we've received many interesting and actually thought-provoking questions. We're actually in Wales at the minute, running alongside the beautiful Monmouthshire and Brecon Canal. We've had bridges 55 and 56. We're nearly a mile into the run. Got another 4 miles to go in that direction, 5 miles back. So I wonder what number bridge we'll get to. What do you think?
What number did we just have?
56, that one.
I thought we're going in ones.
They do. Yeah, I know, I spotted that pattern.
Don't we get one every mile?
No, we get one whenever there's a need for a bridge to cross over the canal. Which is like a road or something leading somewhere. Specialist Industrial Revolution history knowledge there.
I think we're past 3 more.
3? I think we'll get to bridge number 80.
80?
Let's see who's right. So the first question comes from Neil Sumner, who says that we've done many parkruns. That is correct. I think we've been to about 285 different courses. Do we have any favourites? So personally, if I could only ever do 2 parkrun courses again, they would be Hull and Sewerby. They're both places I have happy childhood memories of. I grew up in Hull. It's a flat course, 2 laps. For my money, one of the fastest, if not the fastest in the country. Great community, lovely people. So I go for Hull. And Sewerby, a beautiful coastal parkrun with a little bit of everything, stunning views. So if you've not done either of those, check them out.
So I think my 2 is Poole in Dorset, which is a fast course in an area of the country I absolutely love, and Clamber Park, which is our go-to in the winter, and again, beautiful National Trust park, and yeah, just a really lovely multi-terrain course.
2 miles in, just past bridge 59. So being older runners ourselves, though you wouldn't think it, would you? For our youthful good looks and boyish and girlish enthusiasm. We got a few questions about running as the years progress. So Anthony Cook asked, as we get older and it gets harder and harder to train for the marathon, would we be happy to refocus our goals and train for shorter distances? Oh yes. You want to look at what my course race predictor says, and broadly I'm hitting the 5k time it suggests. As the distances get longer, they seem more challenging for me. In fact, this summer we did plenty of track races, and I think they were some of the most enjoyable race experiences we've had this year. In the future, that's where we might see ourselves. You see people running in these events in the 70s and 80s, and it's really inspiring to see that they can still enjoy their running and athletics at advanced years of age. So marathons. Tom Bagley asked the question, how confident are we for our autumn marathons? Dawn's doing Chester on the 6th of October. I'm hoping to do Abingdon on the 20th of October. So how confident are we? You go first.
Okay, well, I'm confident that I can complete the marathon. I'm confident that I have the ability to do a sub 3:30, and that my training has been geared towards it and I'm in shape to do it. However, you can never tell till on the day, because I was confident at Manchester, and on the day you've got so many variables. But confidence, yes, I'm confident.
And the second part of Tom's question addressed to me was, how do I bounce back from the DNS? So it's easy to mentally bounce back and go into another training block because I know the training will make me fitter come what may. How easy is it to contemplate executing that marathon? It does become more difficult. I used to be able to run sub 3 come what may. Now, yeah, I don't even know if my body will finish it, but I'll do it. But we're doing lots of work to improve the chances of that happening. Control the controllables, then let the marathon gods decide what will be.
Welsh views.
So John Garner asked, that having recently gone under 20 minutes for 5k, how do you maintain it and possibly push on further? I would say it's about not always training for 5k. If you've done a 5k training block and had a jump, I would then think about training for a longer distance, maybe a half or a full marathon, because then you'll get the benefit of speed endurance.
So I'd also think about doing a block of training for maybe 800 or 1500 metre type training, which will develop your VO2 max, which is also very, very important for running fast 5Ks.
So if you've nailed your 5k potential at the minute by training for 5k, think about the skills you'll get from running and training longer and the skills you might get from running and training shorter, and vary those blocks throughout the year. So Reece Timmins was actually one half of a lovely YouTube channel I like to follow called Raddy Set Go. Do go and check them out. So Reece put forward 3 questions. First one, favourite race distance? For me it has been and always will be, I think, the 10k. I've tried all sorts, longer, shorter, but give me a good road 10k anytime and I'm in my happy running place.
For me it was always the marathon, but recently, also over the last few years, I've started to develop a love for 5k. But I think until the day I can't do marathons, it'll remain the marathon.
Second question, has there been a pair of running shoes we didn't get on with?
Well, over the years I've had many shoes I haven't got on with, but if I think of more recent modern shoes, I have to go with the Nike Vaporfly version 2s. I bought them because everybody was saying how great they are, but I have to say I just can't get on with them.
So I love the current Adidas range. Takumi Sens for shorter distances, Pro 3s for longer distances. So I thought I'd love the Adidas Bostons for general training runs. Bought a pair, just felt so unexciting and uninspiring. But a little tip here, I bought them second hand off eBay, sold them second hand on Vinted for the price I paid for them. So the third part of Reece's trilogy of questions, also something asked by Samson Slaphead, Kev, another YouTuber we follow, check his channel out, is, are there any bucket list or races we'd really like to do?
So for me, it's the Boston Marathon. When I first started running, I had a book bought for me, which was a gift of the history of the Boston Marathon, and it inspired me so much. I think it's what made me first do marathons, so that's on my list to do when I retire.
Just to clarify, that's Boston USA, not Boston UK. I don't particularly have any bucket list races. I think I've done all the ones in the UK you're meant to do, like Great North Run, London Marathon. My bucket list when I retire is to go and watch some of the Ashes cricket in Australia, so maybe take a race in when I'm over there. Speaking of abroad, Kev also asked, have we done any races abroad? Yes, 3. So in order of descending disaster, we did the Paris Marathon, 2008 I think. Didn't go too badly for me, ended up with 2:45. Not too bad.
Yes, I did it in 3:08.
So Dublin Marathon, 2007. Dawn didn't do it, I did. Another 2:40 attempt. Crashed at 18. Had no means of getting back to the finish, so thought I'd just jog it in. Then at about 24 miles realised I could just make sub 3 and ended with 2:59.58 on the day. And then 2013, the Flanders Field Marathon in Belgium, a special First World War themed one. Ticked all my boxes: marathon running, war commemoration, think I finished in about 3 hours 40.
Yes, I had a really good run there. I was the second woman.
And you run past loads of battlefield sites. In fact, Reese, might be one you'll be interested in. Dawn just reminded me of a fourth one we did back in 2006, and that was, as he runs up to get Dawn on camera,
the Brussels half marathon. And we ran that one together, and I think we finished in about 1:29.
You'll notice we're now on the return leg because the canal is on that side. I think we got to bridge 71, 72 was in sight. Talk about the war, Mark G, another really fun, interesting channel we follow, so go and check him out. Asked us, what was it like in the war? Thanks, Mark. If you want to know what it was like in the war to play cricket, be in the Army Medical Corps, or have some religious consciousness, I can recommend some really good books by this author. Mark also asked where we met, but it wasn't by Gasworks Wall, and we didn't dream a dream by the old canal. Well, we're very cutting edge in that we first met virtually. We used to post on the Runner's World daily training forum where you put what running you'd done that day. So we knew each other virtually through that, and then we met at an actual race. So that's how we first met. So Mark actually asked 4 questions, the quadrant. So how did we get into running? I was 29 years old, 14 stone, going south, so I thought I'd better do something about it. I don't want to be 39 and 49, even bigger and going further south. So I took up exercise. A bloke, a neighbour, suggested we do a local 10k, so after 3 weeks I went and ran the Barnsley 10k 1999 and loved it, so that the rest is history.
As for me, I was a childhood runner at school, and I was okay at it. I used to do cross country for the school when I was, up until I was about 13. Then I lost interest. However, I took it up again when I was in about 34. I had a health issue and decided I wanted to be fit again. So, yep, so I restarted, joined a club a year later, and as you say, the rest is history.
We hope that answers your question as well, Stephen C. But when we started running, and our first races as club runners, I joined Barnsley AC. There was a 5-mile road league race I was encouraged to take part in. Started and finished at a go-kart stadium. So off we went, came back days before Garmin's. I thought it finished in the stadium as when you went in. Didn't realise you had 3/4 of a mile of a go-kart track to run. Early lessons.
I think my first club race was the Sturminster half marathon, but I'd have to check that out.
Mark also asked what trainers we ran for our PBs. It's that long ago, probably Dunlop Green Flash. No, seriously, for a marathon it was a Nike Ekidans. Loved those trainers at that point. They were the bee's knees.
I cannot remember the actual model of the shoe I wore. I know they were a pair of Mizunos, but back then, it sounds like a really long time ago. But what I'm trying to say is that I don't think we really focused on shoes as much as we do now. So I don't remember the names.
No, there wasn't a great variety, was there?
No.
Or shoe tubers giving you detailed reviews of everything. So another question from I Run Daily, Ian, another channel we like to follow. Go and check it out. He asked, are there any discontinued shoes we still like to see on the market? In general, no, because shoe technology has improved immeasurably.
Yeah.
Or probably measurably actually, that's why they said 4% in the last few years. But I did have a phase of minimalist shoe running, and this was before the Born to Run craze. I had a pair called the New Balance 150s, RC 150s, and I actually ran my half marathon PB in them, partly answering Mark's question from before. Absolutely nothing on the soles. Not absolutely, virtually nothing on the soles. I still got them. Legs absolutely mashed after doing a 73-minute half in those, but I still would like to do a little bit of minimalist running without having to pay like £100 for a pair of sandals. Those New Balance used to cost £20 each because it was thought, well, who wants to run in these? Some of us did. So Dean Summerton, age 51, asked about running as you get older. that he's noticed that races and parkruns, the age profile is skewed towards older runners, and yet there doesn't seem to be much advice out there on YouTube and elsewhere. Well, happy to fill that gap. I would say have realistic goals. Some older runners, if you're relatively new to it, can still set PBs going into the 60s. We won't, but we like to reset goals.
I'd say don't let age be a barrier.
And in terms of parkrun, you can still see your age grading stats. Fingers crossed, they're not taken away. In terms of training, I'd say really look at your strength, conditioning and flexibility as you get older. It's something I neglected when I was younger, and I really have to, there you go, I really have to, Wales you see, I really have to consider those elements to keep myself running. I think semantics are very important in life, and I don't think of myself as an older runner. I just think of myself as a runner in a certain age category,
Yeah.
after certain targets. Lovely house that. So another trilogy of questions from Mac, and guess what, another channel we follow, quite new on the YouTube creation scene, go and check him out. So question is, what is our most memorable race? Over to Dawn.
Well, I have to say London Marathon 2006, when I ran my PB.
What was your PB, Dawn? I don't think I've heard this one.
I don't need to say.
I'll put it on the screen. Just for me, I go for my first ever 10k. It transitioned me from a bloke who wasn't very fit to suddenly I could run a whole 10k without stopping, and I'm so pleased with myself and kicked on from there. Which neatly leads us on to another question of Max. If it weren't running, what might we be doing? In exercise terms, I probably cycle. I used to cycle a lot as a kid because I didn't have a car, and I also played a lot of cricket, so I might be doing that as a sporting pastime. We do like running in different places, and you can see why.
Well, before I became a runner, I used to go to the gym, so I guess I'd still be going to the gym. Nothing exciting really. And I also used to like to swim, so possibly swimming.
Didn't you do a couple of triathlons?
I did, yeah. In the summer, many years ago, I did a few triathlons. I like those, but wouldn't fit into my lifestyle now.
You know what I mean for mindfulness running?
It is.
So another question from I Run Daily, Ian. What advice would you give our younger selves?
Ooh.
The pre-running me, it would be start running earlier. I wonder what I could have done. I'd have started 10 years earlier. But the running me, I'd say strength, conditioning, flexibility. I did virtually nothing. Back in the day, if I wanted to get faster, I'd run more miles. If I wanted to get even faster, I'd run even more miles, and that was it basically. Didn't take note of anything else. So it would be look at your training holistically, not just the running.
For me, it would be don't run through injury. I ran through some horrific injuries back in the early days of my running. I just didn't want to stop. I thought if I stopped running, I'd lose all my fitness. So I'd say definitely don't run through injury.
So final question from Sue, a good friend of ours. What would be the maximum distance we'd recommend running if training for 5k?
So you know me, the more miles the better. No, seriously, over to John.
In general, as a rule of thumb, I'd say 10 miles stroke 90 minutes would be enough for most people in a general training mix if 5k is their running and racing goal.
I think I agree.
So since filming that last week, a couple more questions came in. So Catherine Ball asked, what inspired us to start a YouTube channel?
So I enjoyed a spot of photography, and John bought me a GoPro for my birthday.
And we were watching quite a lot of running YouTube anyway, so we thought we'd give it a go. The first few we made, looking back, are quite embarrassing, but we hope over the years we've improved the quality of the editing and the quality of the content, and hope to continue doing so for several years to come.
Just don't go and look at the early ones.
The second part of Catherine's question is, are there any YouTube channels we particularly enjoy? So it'd be unfair to sort of give a list of our top 5 or anything, because whoever's 6, 16, 26, well, it's not fair on them. So what I'll do, I'll just reframe it, like a politician here. I'll answer the question I want to answer, not the one you asked.
As John said, we watch many YouTubers. In fact, we watch YouTube running channels most evenings, because I think everybody does the best they can, and you know, some really insightful and some funny as well channels out there. So basically, no favourites, but lots that I enjoy watching.
And as another day draws to an end of our working and running, that very appropriately leads me to the final question from our friend Valentina, who asked, given the fact we both have very demanding jobs and busy working lives, how do we maintain the motivation to train?
Well, it's not motivation, Valentina, it's habit.
I know if I want to do well at races and hit times I want, I have to train just about I have to train every day. I have to get out there, so I just do it because that's the way my brain works. If something needs doing, I do it and then worry about whether I wanted to do it afterwards.
I actually love running as well, mind.
So as we walk back to our car along the beautiful Monmouthshire and Brecon Canal, we hope you've enjoyed those insights into a little bit of our own running history, personal history, psychology, likes, dislikes and goals. If you have, please give this video a like, and if you'd like to follow our future running journeys wherever they may take us, then please subscribe to the channel. So until next time, keep on keeping on.
Keep on keeping on.